Hello to the newbies, welcome back to the veterans. It is time for Ted to talk boxing. When it's all said and done, will we be able to say that Josh Taylor, unified champ at 140 pounds, is the greatest Scottish fighter of all time? Will we be able to make that case? Standing in his way, I think, is Benny Lynch. Benny Lynch was a flyweight in the 1930s. He was a real dynamo. Culturally speaking, he was a real happening in boxing. People turned out in the thousands to watch him fight, to watch him train. We do have Ken Buchanan, who was a top lightweight champion. Got cracked in the nuts by Roberto Duran when he lost the belt. But I don't think he was quite on the same kind of level as Lynch was in their respective divisions. In my lifetime so far, I have watched two-time WBO featherweight champion Scott Harrison come and go. That guy had a lot of problems with the law. He might even be still trying to do another comeback now in his 40s, but he was a very good featherweight, but he was never number one. And to try and prove he was number one, he would have had to face either Marquez or Pacquiao, so it probably wasn't happening. Right now, a lot of people feel that Josh Taylor already is the best 140-pound fighter in the world. And if he does get his unification fight against Mexican Jose Ramirez later this May and wins, then it is beyond dispute. He is the best at 140. The question is, from there, and it's no given that he beats Ramirez, though he will be favourite, where does he go from there to try and start to make this claim? Start to dig his heels into the historical soil and start to build up the evidence that he's Scotland's best ever fighter. The obvious thing would be to go up to 147. But there's a lot of risk with that. Now, the kind of guys he would need to beat in order to really turn heads, to make us again revise how good we thought Josh Taylor was, he would be an underdog against those guys. Errol Spence, Terence Crawford. And a key point here with Josh Taylor and the prospect of going up to welterweight is he would lose a real foundational strength he has at 140, which is just his size. He is able to use his size, most notably in his best victory so far against Regis Prograis. In that fight, he was finding it very difficult to time Prograis, who was slipping very well. He started to use his size and strength, pushing him back with the shoulder and the elbow, and that helped make space and put him in line for his hooks. He was able just to bully him a little bit in there, in that great points victory. He isn't going to be able to do that against Crawford or Spence. Again, the kind of guys he would need to beat to really make that kind of claim. I think he knows that. As much as Josh Taylor believes in himself right now, as he should do, a guy who's unified, maybe on his way to becoming undisputed, a real all-round talent, I think he knows he gives up crucial advantages if he were to fight the top guys at 147. So he should stay at 140, and we've heard the likes of Teofimo Lopez, quite a decent-sized lightweight, he might go up and fight Josh Taylor. That's an option. He would happily welcome that. That would be a big money fight. Alternatively, you've got the likes of Ryan Garcia. Okay, very young, but the frame he's got on him, he's very likely will have higher divisions in his future. If Josh Taylor holds fort at 140 pounds, he could welcome a lot of these young talents at 135 and still have the necessary size that his overall skill set won't be compromised. Either way, I think he needs to stay at 140. The thing that's slightly working against it is that he has said he would like to retire, as is becoming very common with a lot of champions now. They seem to have this luxury of being able to go, I know exactly how my future's going to go. I'm going to have it all tied up in a couple of years. Josh Taylor has said he would like to be retired ideally 32 or 33, which just gives us 2, maximum 3 years left of him. he is probably going to retire with less than 30 fights. But he's going to have packed a lot of quality into that time. Stay at 140, rack up the defences. But in order to surpass that mighty might from Glasgow all those years ago, I think he's going to need some real big names on that record. His biggest wins still need to be in his future.